This is so common and we all do it. If someone's sharing something on their story, you are max seeing 5 minutes of their day.
Yeah.
So you are comparing your entire day, your entire life to their 5 minutes. And not just their 5 minutes, their 5 minutes that they're choosing to show you. Whether it be their struggles or their wins, it's never their full story.
Yeah.
What's up, guys? Welcome to our channel, or welcome back to our channel. My name is Taylor.
And I'm Jeff.
My name is Chief.
Something that Tay and I both struggle with, and I know that it's probably something that you'll struggle with as well, is comparison. The biggest part we're going to talk about in this video is going to be our battle with comparison and what are some of the things that we do personally and as a team to overcome that thought of comparison and looking at other people and feeling like we're not valuable enough or we aren't capable enough to do what they do.
Also, that comparison causes a lot of stress and anxiety, which we know is not great for you, and also there's a lot of things that cause that. So the more you can reduce that, the healthier and happier and more joyful you'll be overall. So obviously you deal with comparison really your entire life. It's a natural thing, but with social media, I feel like it's made it a million times worse because you're constantly getting fed other people's highlight reels and everything else that other people are going through in their daily life. And this is just becoming a thing that is not only natural, but now it's just magnified. You've heard this, the grass is always greener on the other side.
Yeah.
The grass isn't always greener on the other side.
I love the quote, the grass isn't greener on the other side, the grass is greener where you water it.
I love that. And then another quote is, comparison is a thief of joy. It's something that we've struggled with and strive for, and we're starting to develop more of that skill of using comparison as a positive thing versus a negative thing. You are comparing, or if you feel that jealousy, that's natural, but something that I've realized that when I start feeling jealous about something that someone has, it's a good indicator that that is what I want. Instead of getting sad or upset that I'm jealous of that person, I try to take that emotion and put it into productive action of saying, okay, now I know that that's what I want. Because think about it, you're not jealous of someone doing something that you would not want to do.
Right, you don't care about.
So it helps you understand what you crave and desire. Like truly realizing if somebody else can do it, why can't you?
Just thinking through like how to make comparison a positive piece for your journey is, going back to the intent of what you're comparing. If you're looking at those comparisons and you're saying, I'm not capable, or they're better than me, or whatever it may be, you're looking at it with a negative intent. You're looking at it as a self-sabotage almost, right? But if you can flip the script on that and look at it with a different intent, like Tay was talking about, instead of looking at it from that negative view, like look at it as, what can I learn from them? What are they doing? If they're doing well, that means there's opportunity for me to do well as well, right? So look at it as an opportunity to understand what can I do to get better? What are they doing that I can learn from and implement into something that maybe I'm missing?
A lot of things that we have struggled with comparison, and we see a lot of our friends and just peers struggling with, is like comparing where you're at in your career. It can be really overwhelming a little bit and cause a lot of stress, anxiety, low self-esteem.
I know we really struggled with that in our early 20s.
Early
right?
20s,
because we didn't have any type of actual path for a career that we thought was really going to be super successful. Mentally, it was very difficult for us to keep going and stick with something, because we were like, well, we're not seeing success there right now. We're not as successful as the people around us.
It's like, how the heck are people going on all ththese trips? How are they buying these nice things, and clothes, nice shoes? They're constantly they have nice cars, and it was really discouraging because I felt so defeated. We do share a lot of our relationship advice, and I feel like we've developed a strong relationship now, but we've not been perfect in our early 20s. We went through a really rocky phase because we're trying to figure out life. We're trying to figure out ourselves. There's so much that goes into relationships. We've been together now for 12 years. There's a lot of work and development put into that, and we by no means have ever claimed to be perfect. And I don't know if guys are the same way as this, but as a female, I'm constantly, of course I've come a long way with this, but especially in my early 20s, comparing my body, seeing social media, and obviously your friends and family. I've been into the fitness realm for a long time, but that doesn't mean that just because I liked fitness that I didn't struggle with body image. I never wanted to wear a swimsuit. Summertime, as much as I love the warm weather, I hated wearing a swimsuit in front of people.
You always wore shorts.
And I always wore shorts, especially my teenage years. That is really, really difficult because you constantly feel like people are judging you or you're judging yourself, and that really affects not only your confidence, but your quality of life, because through all of those things, through comparing all of those different things, it takes so much joy from your life, and it takes so much of that happiness and that motivation to truly chase fulfillment and truly chase, passion and purpose in life, because you're so worried and you're spending so much time, energy, and emotion on comparing yourself to other people and worrying about what everyone else is doing and why you aren't that way or why you don't have the things that they have. And it really wasn't until we completely accepted where we were, and I can't say completely, but we started, I guess is a good way to put it, we started accepting who we are in our own journey and our own timeline, and we stopped comparing as much to everyone else. One thing you can always control is how you allow your energy to be utilized, how you allow your time to be utilized, and how you allow your attitude to affect the things that you're doing. So once you can control the things you can control, it's more about maximizing the life that you have versus comparing your life to everyone else.
Tay and I are still battling, right? It's not like, oh, we're perfect. And that's the point, is that the more that you are self-aware of what you are likely to compare yourself on, and when you catch yourself comparing yourself to someone else's body or their career or their relationship, their family, their lifestyle, like what are they, are they traveling all the time and you want to travel but you can't right now. When you're catching yourself comparing yourself in those categories, something exact same thing that both of us do is like, okay, well, we're not there yet, right? That's okay. Like, what are they doing? Again, going back to how can we get there? We're not there yet, but the key point with that too is making sure that you're prioritizing becoming your best version of yourself, living your life, because what they do, and again, we don't know the behind the scenes of their life. We don't know what it's like. And a lot of times, especially with social media, you may find yourself like wanting something until you realize what it actually is, because you're only seeing the surface layer that people show you on social media.
This is so common, and we all do it. But I knew people related to this because I put this on my Instagram story and it blew up. And it was reminding people that if someone's sharing something on their story, you are max seeing 5 minutes of their day. So you are comparing your entire day, your entire life to their 5 minutes. And not just their 5 minutes, their 5 minutes that they're choosing to show you. Everything that people put on social media is a choice. They're choosing to put that out there. So whether it be their struggles or their wins, it's never their full story. And
I think that this video is a great example, right? Like we're gonna edit this video. There's times in here already that we've messed up.
I'll give an exact example of this. So for those of you guys who don't know, I'm currently in recovery. I tore my Achilles and had surgery 4 weeks ago. And so sometimes I will show myself doing these little workouts. What you don't see is me like freaking riding around this scooter, so frustrated, about to fall over, trip. I have fallen off the scooter once. Having to like crawl into the floor. Jeff has to bring me the dumbbells. It's all of those inconvenient things that are so frustrating, yet someone else that is going through potentially the same thing, if they saw that, they might just see me working out and me having this motivation. Guess what? I struggle just as bad. I have all the same inconveniences. I have to do all these things on the scooter because I can't really do them like walking yet. And it is extremely frustrating, but you don't see all those things. And it's not that I'm trying to hide it. It's something we don't think about all the time in showing.
There's always the behind the scenes. There's always the things that are left out and cut out that you're not seeing. So it's really, really unfair to yourself to compare what you see on social media to what you're living on a daily basis, because no matter how big or how small, everyone has struggles. Everyone has shit that they go through. Right, and it's unavoidable. And if you look at someone's life through social media and all you see is the highlights, the good things all the time, just know that it's manufactured that way because they're likely trying to create a positive environment for the people. They're trying to create an uplifting environment. It just simply doesn't mean that they don't go through those things. It doesn't mean that you're wrong or you're imperfect because they don't go through those, and that you find yourself going through these inconveniences. They go through them too. You're not seeing that. If you were their best friend or if you were someone that they knew personally, you would see the things that they're going through and struggling with as well. And that goes to a big part of what our goal is as well, is to create that support system, that community of people. So you guys get to see more of the reality of us as well, and like what goes wrong in our life and what we're struggling with. And you also know that you have other people that you can lean on during those times of inconvenience or whatever it may be.
This is something that we've battled with and continue to battle with. However, it does not affect our anxiety, our stress, our personal belief in ourself, our confidence, our self-esteem. It does not affect those things as much as it used to, because when you start to, being self-aware is like the very first step, right? Once you are self-aware that you are comparing yourself in these areas, and really tell yourself the truth, okay, in a couple of different ways. One, the truth is, are you actually doing the things that you need to be doing that person is doing, right? Like if you know that person has been doing this for 6 years, they've been consistent, they are continuing to put themselves out there. Well, when you are comparing yourself to that person and you're not doing that work, don't beat yourself up. Just say, okay, I'm comparing myself to this person in this area. What can I do to improve that for myself? Turn it into productive action instead of beating yourself up, because that's not going to help the situation and it's only going to make you better. Be in pursuit of your best self, right? And then the second thing is, be honest with yourself in the fact of you truly don't know everything that person's going through. I think with our experience and just getting to know more people and putting ourselves out there in a number of different areas, and just with age and time, you start to see that like on the surface, people seem happy, but the behind the scenes, they don't have it all figured out. They don't have it all together. Everyone has the same struggles, the same insecurities. It might be a little bit different, but we all go through these same things, and nobody is perfect. Nobody has it all figured out. And you more than likely have something that they want and you don't even know it. If you know that you're not in the best shape and you are comparing yourself to someone that's in phenomenal shape, instead of beating yourself up about it, be self-aware again and say, hey, that's something that I admire or inspire to be like and be, a better fit version of myself. What is something I can do today that's going to help me improve that? And those little actions will help you develop that confidence and self-belief in your own self. And then you can reshift your focus back on what you're doing versus what they're doing. A lot of these things, it's because of the race of life, right? We want to have the experiences, the confidence, the career, the relationship that all these people have, and you're racing to get those things, right? So say this is the race of life, and it's an actual physical race where we all start at the starting line and we are running to the finish line, okay? And imagine if you and whoever you're comparing yourself, you're all lined up and gun went off and you just took off running as fast as you could, only focused on this step right in front of you, all the training that you've been through, and your eyes were on the finish line almost as if you had blinders on, and you were just focusing on how can I do this the best of my ability in my best form, and one foot in front of the other. Or if you were doing that same exact race, but instead as you were running, you were looking over at all the people that you were running against. If you do that, your natural body's physical ability is to slow down because you can't see what's in front of you. You also are more likely to trip and fall. You're more likely to completely get distracted on what you're actually doing. You're not going to win, first of all. You're not going to do very well. You're more likely to fall off track and even have a setback from like an injury or something. You're not going to be the best that you possibly could have. You still might not have won doing everything, like focusing on everything right in front of you, but you would have done the best that you could.
In that situation where you have the blinders on, you're focused on your lane, stay in your own lane, and eyes on the prize, focusing on the finish line, regardless if you're the first one there or not. Like, life isn't a race. It's not about who gets there first, it's about getting there, right? So if you do it that way, then you're going to get to the destination, right? You're going to cross the finish line. Someone may have crossed it before you, and that's okay, because there is no race to this. It's just simply like getting there, right? Getting to the goal. So I love that analogy, and I love that visual. And for me, it helps me too. Like, again, that's something that I can take away, and because we still struggle with this, and that's something I'm going to remind myself of. It's like, I want to get to the finish line. If I'm the first one there, great. I'm going to look back and and I'm going to cheer on the other people that are running to me. But if I'm not the first one there, cool. I'm going to be just as happy being to the finish line, getting to my goal and reaching my goals. And then same thing. I'm going to turn around and I'm going to start cheering for the other people that haven't finished yet.
Exactly. And you're also going to leave the race and figure out, okay, how can I get faster? How can I be more effective? And you're going to get better. Like, I'm using this analogy of a race because this is what people in their mind almost feel like it's a race. What I've realized is once I stopped worrying about what everyone else is doing, as much. I mean, it's gonna happen. Like, but using those opportunities to pivot and take productive action on, okay, hey, I recognize what?
I can't help but think about Friends.
Oh, pivot! Pivot! Use those times that you feel that comparison and you just spending time looking over at them, you're going to fall off track. You're going to get distracted. You're going to lose that confidence, that self-esteem. You're going to create anxiety and stress and worry about things that truly aren't going to change. Like, that's something I realized because I've also struggled a lot with stress and anxiety. And what I've realized is anxiety is really just the fear of what could happen. It hasn't even happened yet. So why are you afraid of it? And my word for the year, like the cheesy little words for the year that I had told Jeff, is abundance, right? Because I really I have the feeling of, oh, if they see success or if they have a great relationship or if they have the fit body, that means I can't have it. I don't know why we create this idea in our head that if someone else has success in any area, that it hurts us. And in reality, it doesn't. It shows you that, one, it's possible. Two, that means that is what something you want. So now you can start working for it. And you can learn to be happy for people and, really be excited for other people's success, knowing that your time will come too. The things that you view as bad, right? Like the bad things, like why me? Like why is this person has had no setbacks, no struggles, no real adversity? Okay, well, first of all, you don't know that because maybe they just simply haven't shared it with you. As much as we have shared online, we have not shared everything. And some things are just very personal to people that they don't want to share, and that's okay. That means that you have to understand that you never know their full story. However, I look at a lot of adversity as advantages. You gain new perspective, you gain new strength, you gain new gratitude. You gain so much from bad times, way more than good times. You gain so much more from those times. And so I personally have never faced as much adversity as I have in the last few years. And I truly feel that I am better in almost every area of my life. And it's because of the adversity that I face. So instead of comparing and saying, well, this person hasn't had to face all these things, I can say, well, I have life experience, and now I can use that to my advantage to help people, to live with more joy, to live with more purpose and passion, to really take that opportunity and be better. And that's what I choose to do. And again, this isn't easy all the time, and it's definitely not easy at first. If you've been comparing your whole life and talking negatively to yourself your whole life, this is going to be hard habits to break. You'll look back when you're 80 years old or whatever, and you're going to be like, why did I care so much about what people thought of me? Or why was I so upset at that body that I had? Because now I would love to have that body. I would love to be able to live the life I lived when I was like 20 or 30 years old.
I actually shared something like that in my story yesterday.
You'll never get these years back. You'll never get these moments back. And by constantly just comparing yourself to everyone else, you're going to lose so much of your own life.
20 years from now, you'd give anything to be this age again, exactly this healthy, and have this time again. Go do some main character shit before it's too late. I love that. Be the main character. Like, don't worry about anyone else in the movie. Play your role, do your thing, be confident in yourself, work towards your confidence. That lack of confidence is simply a lack of trust in yourself. You gain trust in yourself by doing the things you say you're going to do. So start small. Build up daily habits. Start, being more self-aware about where you're feeling more insecure, and then ask yourself, what can I do to improve this? And those are daily things that we focus on. Those are things that, we help each other with. Like, I help Taylor recognize areas that she's, less confident or not being as aware at. She does the same thing to me. It takes a team, it takes a support system, and but it's doable. And you should be striving to get better at it, because your life will improve. Like the anxiety, the stress, the things like that, like they're never going away. But it gets better. It's more manageable. Yeah, more manageable. You'll be able to battle them better. And action cures fear a lot of the time. Oh, it's one of my favorite quotes of all time. Yeah, action cures fear, dude. Great book. And it's truly, what book is it? Magic of Thinking Big. Magic of Thinking Big, yep. But it's one of those things, like,
do the hardest thing first, because that will help build momentum and confidence into your day. And just like Jeff is saying, like, I've struggled with confidence and trusting myself so much. And again, that comes with stress and anxiety and worry. And then it's just like, I'm stealing my own joy in my life. Instead of going and seeking validation, I just do it. And I know I'm either going to be right or I'm going to learn something and get better for the next time. And it's not like you can't get second opinions, but if your only purpose of asking somebody else is to get their validation for your decision, it's going to be hard to develop that trust within yourself.
Yeah.
So that's something that has helped me tremendously on that category.
Validation is different than verification. It's okay to verify things.
Love that. Like, you'll hear a lot of times they'll say in your 20s you're finding yourself. But what I personally think is it's more about accepting yourself. I think that we always know what we want, who we are, like all these things deep down. But when you're trying to find yourself, a lot of times you're second guessing who you actually are. And again, comparing yourself to all these people. I think once you really truly accept who you are, knowing that you can create whoever you want to become, but accepting like, here's what I like to do. Here's who I am, here's my interest, and here's what I want. So now I can evolve and adapt and develop into a better version of myself while still accepting this is who I am. Because I think that a lot of times where a lot of stress and anxiety and comparison come from is not accepting who you are and wanting to be someone else, instead of looking at it as an opportunity to say, okay, here's who I am and where I'm at now. Here's what I would like to become and what I would like to do and what I aspire to be. And here are actions that I know I can work to become that, because you truly can. So if you're someone that has struggled with this too, use some of the things that we've been talking about, such as learning to accept where you're at and looking at jealousy and comparison as productive action into who you want to become, knowing that you can do it too. Also know that this process isn't going to be easy, but it will be worth it. It will help you overcome a lot of that stress and anxiety and lack of confidence, lack of self-belief, and just taking action towards the person that you want to become will help build that confidence in yourself. And before you know it, you will be so busy building the life and person that you want to become that you won't have time to worry about what everyone else is doing, and you'll be happy for them. Sweet. If you have any tips that has helped you overcome these things, please put them in the chat, because we're looking to all help each other. We're constantly looking to learn.
Yep.
If you feel like this can help someone else, please share it. We want to get our message out to as many people as possible, and we absolutely love doing this. So we appreciate any feedback, any shares. We will catch you guys in the next one. Yee! Yee!